This is Ryan Riot, and this is my Britwres journey.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy, Big Wavy Roy Johnson here.
This is the professional Nathan Cruz.
Yo, this is man like Darius.
Hi, this is Tom Thurber.
This is Veggie.
This is the Asian sensation Kanji.
This is the Nightmare Fuel Hassan Malone.
This is Joe Rage, the heavyweight classic.
This is Mad Dog O'Doherty.
This is Tonga.
I'm the Breaker, Kyle Kingsley.
This is the infamous Cameron Solis, and you're listening
to Broken but Glorious.
Broken but Glorious.
To Broken but Glorious podcast, because like me, you are head to toe a pro.
Hello, welcome to Britwres Journeys on bbgwrestling.com. I'm Chris Lappin. I'm delighted to be joined online by Ryan Riot. How are you doing this evening, Ryan?
I'm good, thanks, Chris. How are you?
Good, I say. I will apologise to the listeners if I sniff and stuff. I'm recovering from a cold. So I'll try and edit out as many as I can, but if I miss a couple, then blame me. So shout.
I'll do it as well, so you've got more to edit.
So yeah, huge thanks for joining me this evening.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so how's your return to the ring post-lockdown gone?
It's not too bad. Had a few carnivals, which you were at one of them, at Pennaford. That's when I first met you, actually.
That was a great show.
That was good. There was only 8 of us.
Yeah.
So it went well. But yeah, I had a few carnivals. Barnton Cricket Club was the first one. Then Pennaford, and we had, with Britannia and Mostyn 2 days there at the beginning of September.
Oh, right, cool.
So that was pretty good. All was going well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the Pennaford show. So, yeah. We seem to be following RJ round. So we're his fan group. The only ones who support him.
Just there. You're just with him. Just in the back of his car every time he goes, and you just get out of the boot when he's ready for his match.
At the Bradley Carnival, the one just outside Wrexham, the little kid came up and said, asked if he over his parents. I was like, oh no, that made me look dead old.
Oh. Mr. and Mrs. Silver.
Yeah. So I've been your highlights so far of the return.
Oh well, I've had the opportunity to wrestle Joey Marcus twice, and he's one of my closest friends. So that's been really good, being able to finally wrestle in front of a crowd of him. Team with RJ was great as well, wrestling Dogs of War. That was fun.
That was a really fun match.
Yeah. Last time I was in the ring with the Dogs of War was the Britannia Rumble in 2020, and Dave Faulkner just kicked me and I flew across the ring.
Yes.
So that was, got some redemption there.
Yeah, that Rumble's got about 900 views on YouTube, and I reckon at least 200 of them is Isaac, because he's obsessed with watching that Rumble, because it's got all the Paradox in it. So
yeah.
In early lockdown, we must have watched that at least 2 or 3 times a week. He was obsessed.
Well, yeah, I watched that Rumble, and I watched it back after the show, and because Dougie Matthews was on commentary, and we always point this out in training.
Mm-hmm.
When I came out, Dougie Matthews just got on commentary like, oh yeah, he was bigging me up, which is...
He was.
And then after that, I tripped up. Straight after. You just see me fall, and I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, you came out like number 5 or 6, I think. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, I can't remember for the life of me.
Yeah, you're one of the victims of Big Red.
Yes, one of. I've wrestled Big Red before as well. That was an experience, should I say.
Yes.
I got chopped around.
Yeah.
My chest and back were red raw. That was a few years ago now as well, so.
Yeah, it was quite fun drunken conversation with him at the pub.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
he always seems to be drunk on Stella whenever I see him.
Yeah.
Every time. He's a good lad.
I ended up having about 8 pints. I was on the way home. I was like an hour wait for the train on the way home. So Rachel quite drunk. So I was just waiting for the train for an hour, just trying to entertain us. I was take 2 kids. I was like, oh.
That was fun.
Yeah,
Just got Big Red back down. He would have entertained for a while.
Yeah, he was sitting on the other side of the tracks, but he had his earphones in. I don't know if he saw us. But so, were there any matches or storylines in 2020 that you're particularly looking forward to doing, but couldn't because of COVID stuff? Or?
I started one in Fusion just before it was March 20. It was 2021. No, 2020. That was it.
Yes.
March 2020 last year. I started a bit of a storyline in Fusion with a team called Anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them couldn't compete, so I teamed with Anarchy. Whereas then I lost the match for us, obviously, because I do it in classy Ryan Riot style, lose.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But, yeah, then they beat me down, and then I eliminated both of them from the Rumble, and they came back and took me out, which was a bit of a kick in the teeth, but hey-ho.
What's saying, is that going to pick up again? Because there's some Fusions shows soon.
Fusion shows it 30th of October.
Oh, this month?
Fusions in Llandudno, yeah.
Oh, cool. So are you hoping that storyline picks up again, or is it they just wiping that?
I'm not too sure. I'd like them picking up a bit. No, a good lads anarchy.
Yeah, I've seen some promotions of it have just like wiped everything clean and starting again because they had 18 months off, and some have tried their best to carry on storylines and keep the champion.
It's difficult to do so, isn't it? You know, every champion has a 400-day reign now. It's great.
If you claim them 18 months of reign, it's a proper heel. I can see heels doing it, but faces.
Just everyone's messaging Vince McMahon right now. I've got 500-day reign as champion. It's more than Roman Reigns.
Yeah. So if we go back to the beginning, who was your favourite wrestler growing up?
Oh, see, I remember. It's a bit difficult because when I started watching wrestling, it was TNA. That's what I first started watching, but what I remember from growing up was Rey Mysterio and watching back, obviously, because by the time I started watching wrestling, Eddie Guerrero had already passed away, but I remember watching WrestleMania 20 on DVD and just seeing him when it was a match against Kurt Angle. I just thought he was amazing. Same with Rey Mysterio, and then because I grew up watching TNA first, it had to be AJ Styles.
Yeah.
It's just...
Oh, it's great, isn't it, TNA? What era of TNA are we talking? Give away your age,
2007.
Yeah.
Till about 2012. That was the best time of TNA. Yeah, it was amazing.
For them couple of years before Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff took over.
Yeah.
Ruined it. I loved it.
The likes of Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles all on the same show was just amazing. And Sting.
Yeah. Sting. Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy.
Christian Cage. It's just, it's great. It's like AEW now.
Yeah. So then when Hulk Hogan came in and just changed the ring to square, and you're like, no, TNA's six-sided ring.
Yeah.
Changed it blue. I was like, oh.
One of the only things that's one of the main things about TNA, wasn't it? The six-sided ring, and then big man Hulk Hogan took over and just...
Yeah, made the X division a cruiserweight division and made it triple threats only. I was like, why?
Yeah, it was...
Why are these stupid rules? No weight limits, no limits. That was the whole point of the X division.
Let's just wait till he gets his hands on AEW. We'll see what happens then.
Oh God. Yeah, I think they're smart enough not to bring in a Hulk.
You'd like to think so, anyway.
Yeah. So what prompted you to don the tights to get in the ring yourself?
I'm like, watching it from a young age, I've just always been obsessed. And then buying the game every year, watching it all the time, constantly. You know, things like that. It really, for years I wanted to do it. And obviously, being a wrestling fan, you got made fun of it a lot. Because, you know, wrestling's fake and everything, you know, so that people know more than you. But it's just, I thought, you know what, there's no point listening to other people being so negative, and I just thought, you know, give it a go. And, you know, 3 years later, here I am.
Right. It's something I wish I would have took up for this, because I heard when there was a local one in Bromberg, and I was like, I should have gone, but I was too busy drinking and stuff.
There's still time.
I'm 40 and old and got bad back and bad knees.
I've got a bad back and I'm 19, so there's no excuse there.
Nah. Joel's decided he wants to give it a go. He's really thinking about it. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely should. Yeah, there's plenty of good schools around now as well.
Like I say, if you just go and you don't like it, at least you can say you give it a go. It's like,
exactly, yeah.
Wonder forever.
Yeah, that's another reason why I did it. It's like, you know, I could go now and, you know, figure out if I actually want to do this properly or not, or not go at all and not get an answer. So I'm glad I did.
Yeah, so was AJ Styles, or a lucha style, what you wanted to mold your style around when you started training?
It was definitely more of a lucha style that I wanted to do when I first started training. Like, I was eager to do springboards and stuff like that, and suicide dives. I just can't, you know, anything like that. But I remember going back to my first session ever. It was with Dan Evans, and I just shown up, and this was my own fault. I never mentioned that it was my first session. So he just got me, it's like we're warming up and doing stuff. He's like, have you ever wrestled before? I was like, no, never. And then he was like, Dougie Matthews, like, go and help him do his bumps. So yeah, I just remember that because I probably should have mentioned something, but then I wouldn't have that story. So there you go.
Yeah.
And obviously now
great.
He's great.
Yeah,
obviously now trained by Ryan Lloyd now and Scott Dorgan. Obviously under and Win Williams under Fusion and Britannia under the dojo now.
Yeah.
Which is good. Yeah, it's enjoyable. But it's good, yeah. So yeah. The Lucha Star's what I'm still trying to attempt. Even if I do trip over doing double knees, hey ho.
Did you have an idea of a character you wanted to do when you started training?
When I don't really know. I think I was trying to see how it goes. Obviously, because I've always enjoyed the Lucha style, I wanted to do maybe like Eddie Guerrero cheating and all that. Looking at Andrade as well in WWE, and he's probably my favourite wrestler at the minute as well.
Yeah.
So as his gimmick when he was a heel in WWE, just being cocky and arrogant and being vicious at times, but also showing off of high flying ability, that's what I want to do, and that's what I wanted to do really from the start.
That his NXT runs with Aleister Black still probably one of my favourite runs ever.
Yeah, those. But I thought Aleister Black and Andrade are their rivalry was one of the best. And I think Zelina Vega added a lot to that as well, considering Aleister and Zelina were getting married. Because I don't know how they kept it in together, to be honest. Being against each other constantly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a brilliant storyline.
Yeah, the whole story, yeah. And Andrade was just, wasn't really, I can't remember what the word was, but he just didn't seem to care that he was losing a lot, and then he brought Zelina in, and the way she just changed his career around, and he looked bothered. And it was brilliant. I loved it. And
it worked a lot. It worked really well, which was surprising for WWE as well. But
I think it could have gone on a bit longer, but then they just both got called up to the main roster, and they on the scene.
But then they just dropped it on them both, didn't they? For no reason. Yeah, they had them both doing really well, and suddenly it seems to happen a lot with NXT call-ups. But it seems to have them doing really well in NXT, they come up and they just lose. Like, I don't think Black held the title on the main roster, did he? He had because he tagged a Ricochet for a little bit at the start.
I don't think he did, no.
No, but I know Andrade held the US title, but it wasn't for long.
No. Black was just sitting in the cupboard asking people to come fight him. That's all it meant.
And then he finally re-debuted and got released.
Yeah. Within a week, I was like, what? I was so happy. I was so happy when he joined AEW straight away. I was just like...
Oh yeah, because they forgot they had a 30-day no-compete clause. So that's brilliant. Just karma to WWE right there. But he is doing great in AEW now. Still got the gimmick. It's great.
Malachi, is that really... Malachi, but I didn't like it to begin with, but it's growing on me. So, I think
slowly.
Yeah. So where did the Ryan Riot name come from for you?
Well, I actually don't have a clue where Ryan came from. But Riot, I was designing my own gear because I was looking at getting gear made, which I did. And I had the word Riot down the side of it because I thought it'd go with the gimmick, and it's one of my favourite songs by 3 Days Grace. And I was speaking to Joey Marcus, and he was like, you should definitely use that as your last name. And he just thought the Riot went well with the gimmick that I wanted to go for as well, so that was helpful there. But honestly, I have no idea where the Ryan came from. I think I just looked at a load of different names beginning with R and just put them into a pile and thought, which one should I go for? Which one sounds
Some of the
best?
names just I'm surprised have never been taken before. It's how it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I noticed after it though, someone pointed out that because I think you've seen my gear, which is obviously the black and white. Someone pointed out to me in trainers like, your gear looks similar to Ruby Riot's, by the way. I was like, crap. That's what I'm going to be known for now, isn't it? It's like, oh no.
I think there is a singer called Ryan Riot, because I was trying to research for an interview and this singer kept coming up. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure I looked on YouTube once and that came up. I was like, oh no. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that one in a few years' time. We'll wait for that.
Alright, so take us back to your first show. What do you remember about it? And in hindsight, was your match any good? Have you been back and watched it? Or?
My first show was Fusion actually in 2019. Yeah, and I wrestled Alfie Brooks.
Oh wow!
Which was it was a really enjoyable match. Obviously similar styles as well.
Really young. It must have been like 15 or something.
I think he was. I think he's a year younger than me, so I think he was 17 at the time, or 16, because I was 17 at the time. 16. Yeah, I was 17 at the time.
Yeah. He was 17 when I interviewed him last year, so yeah. So he must have been like 16. Wow.
Yeah, because we're similar, but then it was a similar style as it went pretty well. But looking back at it, I think like I'd like to have another match with him again, because I'd like to see the difference between the two and how much both improved in the last 2 years.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because I thought for a first match it wasn't terrible, but again, it wasn't good. It was okay.
Because when I interviewed him last year, he says he wants to get into death matches. I was like, why? Why would you want to get into death matches?
I want at least one.
Yeah.
I want at least one, just to say I've done it.
Yeah.
And then
that's what your next match could be. You could be his first death match.
Yeah, first death match for each other. Last as well. Actually, I told my partner that I wanted to do a death match. He wasn't impressed at all.
Yeah.
I got the sound sheet for about 10 minutes, so I was like, right.
I just don't see why you would want glass in your back or barbed wire hit on your skin.
Honestly, neither do I, but it's just, I want at least one. If I forget like putting a tournament, I'll be like, I'll go off first, don't worry. I'll try.
So who would you say has been your biggest rival so far then?
I wouldn't really say I've had a biggest rival, because obviously I've not been in any storylines, and then I've been on a few shows obviously, but I wouldn't say I've any major rivals yet. If we're looking at storyline wise, it's probably going to be Anarchy leading up to it, or based on the last show that I was on. But I don't really know who would be, to be honest, because, like I said, not important to the storyline properly yet.
Yeah, I hope that storyline does carry on. It sounds like it was probably fun.
It will. Yeah, I reckon it will be fun. A few matches with them would be good. They're a good group of lads.
Hey guys, it's the star attraction Jimmy Jackson, and you're listening to BBG Wrestling.
So I'm guessing you're having this time, these last 18 months off, give you time to rest your body, get rid of all them niggling injuries, evaluate kind of what's worked and what hasn't worked over the last couple of years. So are you going to make any tweaks to your character or to your moveset now for return?
Yeah, I need to be, obviously this is like personally now, I need to be a lot. I realised looking back at it, I need to take in a lot more, because I found I was going out doing much, I wasn't taking anything in. But, looking back at the last 18 months, I was thinking I really need to start taking stuff in. But when it comes to my character, I'm going to start being like a lot more vicious, a lot more heavy on attacks, and I want to throw a few more, be a bit more technical with submissions and that.
That'd be
because I do enjoy that type of stuff, and it's a great technical matches. Always, a lot of time they look really good. Like looking back at people in WWE now, Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate, when they've had a match, it always looks amazing.
Oh yeah,
Blackpool last year. It was last year. It was Tyler Bate versus somebody, because I was in the crowd for that, and it was such a good match. And they focused on technical ability for most of it, and it just looked amazing. And the crowd were all into it all the time. So I want to try work on that a lot more in the next, leading up to the next shows and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you definitely if you want to be a heel, throwing in submissions, slow the match down is a great way of getting heat on you, have it? So,
oh yeah.
Especially
stuff like over the rope arm bars, tarantulas, like Tajiri used to do, stuff like that.
Tyler Devlin, he was against Blackpool too.
That was it. It was a great match.
All the NXT UK pay-per-views have been amazing. They're gonna. I think it's next week. They're gonna start doing shows in front of crowds again. So I think that'll bring the show back up to a standard. I've found it really hard to watch. Recently with no crowd. So
I was looking back on the network and I saw missed about 14 weeks of NXT UK. I was like, I'm not catching up on that. It's just NXT UK.
It's been alright. It's just. I think fans are very important to British shows. It brings a humour that I think NXT UK has been missing ever since it really started. I think that they've tried to make it too American.
Yeah.
And I think, as I say, now they've brought Jim Smallman and he might bring a bit of a British flair to it, which he hasn't been able to do because he hasn't had fans there. But,
yeah. I think the thing with NXT UK is, obviously this is no one's fault. This is down to obviously COVID, but with, obviously they've got nothing to build towards. Like, NXT has taken over WWE as the monthly pay-per-views. NXT UK has had nothing to build towards recently. Obviously they had the show they
Dublin show, wasn't it?
Yeah. That was...
They've been promoting the Dublin show for like 2 years.
Yeah, they've had nothing to
build.
Yeah, that's the thing. They've had absolutely nothing to build towards, so it's difficult to get invested because, rivalries are ending on a random episode of NXT UK. It's just, that's what I found difficult about it. Because obviously...
Yeah, that's it. They had to put the Walter Dragunov match on the NXT takeover. So that
was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
That was a really good match. I did think their first match was better though, personally.
Yeah. That match needed imagine that match in front of the fans and then helping like,
oh no, it would have stolen the show in front of fans, absolutely.
Britwres is back. We had the speaking out movement last June.
Yeah.
How have you found Britwres since you've come back? Have you found it a better atmosphere in the dressing rooms and stuff?
Yeah, it's definitely a better atmosphere. I think what was really good about the speaking out movement is that it's helped people feel a lot safer.
Yes.
Which is obviously the main purpose of the main purpose of the speaking out movement was for that, and it's to protect people and to get the ones that weren't so great out of the business. So I think with that, it has really helped people, and I think people do feel a lot safer now, knowing that that people like that have gone. Obviously, there's probably still people out there that we don't know of, but that's going to happen in every single business, every single industry in the world. But it is good that it's only a small step, but it does help a lot.
But I don't think you could be a bad promoter or a bad training school these days and get away with it like they used to. I think people just wouldn't put up with it. So. And
that's really good because people know we're safe. People know where to go. And a lot of companies now, people have someone to go to if there is any issues.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of companies have safeguarding officers now, which is, it's good for the business and the industry because it's pushing it forward.
Looking forward, do you have like a wish list of opponents you want to face over the next maybe year, or companies you want to work for?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people I'd love to face. One of the main ones I'd love to face is Ryan Riot, mainly down to the fact he's the trainer, and I think he's a great competitor in the ring. Dougie Matthews, I've not had the chance to face him on a show yet, which would be good. I like to face him. Yeah, he's a great lad. It's fun terrorising though. That's the best thing about knowing him. He's so easy to wind up. I'd like to face Jordan.
Alright, he's not very good at rumbles because the two rumbles you see in the ring he got out straight away.
Oh, I did hear him chanting that at the Penna Forward actually. Yeah, he's shouting it at Dougie.
He's not very good at rumbles. The Batanga rumble, he gets thrown out straight away. He comes out number 3. Goes straight out.
He did. That was good. I like to face Joey Marcus again. Always love wrestling Joey. He's RJ Silver. I'd like to face him. Connor Klein.
It is Ginger. Is it Ginger? What's his new gimmick called? Jinha? Something like that. He's wearing a mask.
I'd love to face RJ.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
Connor Klein, he's a great lad as well.
I'm liking his new attitude, heelish gimmick. It's developing over the last couple of shows.
Yeah, definitely. Cool. There's loads of people I'd love to get in the ring with. Lance Rivera, he's another one.
Yes.
He's great. Met him a few times. Just everyone. I'll just wrestle everyone. That's it. Gauntlet match. Give me everyone, that's it.
Yeah.
I'll get Britannia to book it.
Yeah, that'll be fun. He hasn't told me who he's facing on the 16th yet.
He's
at Britannia, but he hasn't told me who he's facing.
I know, Britannia, they're showing Britannia that, a few matches have been announced. His hasn't.
I've seen it.
Looking back at it.
His hasn't.
Obviously, Dougie's facing Isaac North. You've got James Reed and,
I know it's Dylan Roberts versus Doug Williams.
Oh, that's going to be an amazing match. That will be really good.
Should be amazing.
But yeah, they're the matches that have been announced so far for Britannia. So they'll be good. They're a good set of matches so far.
Yeah, I think North versus Dougie Matthews. Tyson Taylor. That'd be a great match. Tyson Taylor versus James Reed.
That will be good. James Reed is a great lad as well. I spoke to him a few times over lockdown. Yeah.
Well, I interviewed him earlier. Was it just after lockdown? He had to come back and re-record it because the first interview we had was 2.5 hours long. I was like, I can't release a 2.5 hour interview. So I only asked him how was lockdown, and he spoke for an hour. I was like,
he was gone. I'm pretty sure he mentioned that actually in the group chat that we got. I'm pretty sure he said he had to refilm it.
Well, he offered 2 hours. I messaged him again. I'm going to have to release this in 2 parts because I can't release a 2.5 hour interview. But yeah, it was good enough to come back on, and I'm happy he did. So I've still got it there in case I ever need it.
In case you ever want to release a 2-hour interview.
Well, at least the hour bit was never got released, previously unreleased.
Should use it as bleepers. Yeah.
This is James Reed, and you're listening to a Broken But Glorious podcast.
Right, so if you're promoting for a day, promoting an event, you're using wrestlers you've either worked with, trained with, wrestlers associated to you in some way. If I give you a match type, you tell me who you're putting in that match.
Go on then.
Okay, and it's your show, so you can make every match intergender, every match triple threat, full away. Put many people in each match you want. It's your no budget. It's just
sound. No budget. Where everybody's getting booked. Where's Roman Reigns when you need him?
Right, so who will be in your opening contest? Get the crowd excited.
I would have Andy Knox versus Jack Griffiths.
Yes.
Because I reckon those two could put on a really good match with both of their wrestling styles. I think it would go really well. And throw in a ladder as well if we need to.
Yeah. Jack Griffiths is somebody I really need to see live. I've only ever seen him on YouTube.
I saw him wrestle Dougie at the was it Royal Rumbles? Oh, it was some show Britannia did. And he's a good lad. He's good. He's a good wrestler as well.
Yeah. What was it? YouTube is really.
Yeah, and I wrestled Andy Knox at Mostin a few weeks ago. So Andy Knox is great as well.
Is that the one, the big boat behind it?
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, so I watched that much. that kid, the little boy on the other side was getting well into it.
I'd never worked face before either, so that was...
No.
I was trying my best. I was like, oh god, here we go. I was like, I'll just be as cheesy as possible. It's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Charlie Brennan after the last Britannia show with the Carnival. I've never worked heel before, so he just did his inner, just did everything Dan Evans does. He just thought, what does Dan Evans say? Just did it.
Dan Evans 2.0.
Yeah.
Gimmick it, mini Dan.
Yeah, he went face in the second half. So.
Oh, right. He was more comfortable then.
Yeah. He's like a proper baby face. So, but.
Yeah.
Cool. A comedy match?
This was one I was struggling on. But I finally came down to it, and this was Drill versus Lance Rivera and Stacey Rose in a handicap match. I reckon the three of them could be quite funny, to be fair, together.
Yeah.
Because I've met Lance.
I'd love to watch that match.
Yeah, I reckon that'd be pretty good, to be fair, with the comedic style. Because the three of them are great, and then given the opportunity to do a comedic match, I reckon, it'll be good. I'm booking the show of the century here right now.
Yeah. I'd love to watch that match. The toilet roll match they had last year is still we've watched that so many times.
That was so good.
Bog roll on the pole match. So.
I'm pretty sure Joey mentioned, wasn't that match they advertised in America as well, like on a news report or something?
Was it?
Pretty sure, yeah. It was on like American news website or something. It was a brilliant match. It was so good.
Yeah, I've watched it so many times. So, but Lance has ruined it now because the whole joke on the podcast is nobody's ever seen him win a match, but he's won most of his matches since he's returned now. So it's like, women's title match?
I've booked Harley Hudson versus Chantel Jordan versus Kat Von Cage.
Oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, because I met Kat and Harley at the Mafia Fusion show, and they're pretty good together. I've seen Chantel Jordan wrestle.
Yes, she's good.
She's good. She's really good.
She's only like 18 or something now, so she's stupidly young, 18 or 19. She's been wrestling for years. She's
wrestling Joe Janela. That.
On a bus.
On a bus.
That was great match. Yeah.
That was a really good match.
I think that, yeah, that'd be a really cool match. The three completely contrasting styles as well. So
Yeah, definitely.
A mid-card title match, so like your workhorse match.
I'd book Cameron Solis versus Ryan Riot.
Oh, yes.
Because I think with the family and Paradox, they've got unfinished business there as well, and it's just, the two of them are great wrestlers.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the joke of me and Joe Isaac had when we watched that Rumble. I said, we can only watch the Rumble again if Cameron wins this time. Okay.
You just watched it so many times, just like hearing it. You could probably say it back, couldn't you? Every, word for word, what the announcers are saying and everything. The second everyone's
I reckon about earlier this year, he could have told you that order of people came out, but I think he can't now because we haven't watched it for a couple of months. But yeah,
that's
you could say you probably could get pretty high. He knew when Andy Knox and RJ and Connor all came out, and yeah.
The loves Paradox then, clearly.
He's obsessed. So yeah. I don't think it's sunk in that they're breaking up yet. So
you just have to be there. It'll be like the Hardys and the Shield all over again.
It's about hardcore Extreme Rules stipulation type of match. So.
Dylan Roberts versus RJ Silver.
Oh,
it seemed random, but
yeah,
I do think because RJ's style, obviously you've seen him, he loves that style of match. And I think Dylan Roberts would be good with him, as the two of them would work really well together in that style.
Yeah, when I interviewed RJ, he said the first thing he looks for when he goes into any building is what can I jump off.
Yeah, we were. This was a show in Buckley a few years ago, for Britannia. This would have been 2019, maybe. Yeah, it would have been 2019. And we were all just in the changing rooms watching the match, a Paradox minute, and we were just watching it. And a few seconds later, we saw RJ fall from this building, from this ledge above us. Didn't know where he was. He just fell.
No.
Oh, there he is. He'll dive off anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have put him past him trying to dive off that boat in Boston, to be honest, but...
Yeah, probably. I saw him have it wasn't a death, but it was a hardcore match in front of about 15 people. It's just fabulous wrestling. It's him and Isaac North. Yeah. Isaac North was backstage making a board with barbed wire in and everything. I was like, oh my god, there's only about 15 people here, so how are you going to put yourself through this? But yeah, they had a great match. I think it was a six-man death match, I think it was. So.
Oh, yeah, wasn't it? Wasn't Rye and who else was in that?
Was it Big Red, wasn't it?
Oh god.
It was Joey Fabulous or Joey Rush, Isaac North, and Sean Mortensen. I can't remember his name. There's RJ Silver, Rye Lloyd, and Big Red, maybe? I can't remember.
It was a good match.
Yeah, it was a 6-man tag. It was a good match. But I was like, why are you building this barbed wire board when there's only about 10, 15 people here?
Sets it on fire. Put someone through it.
Yeah, also on that show, Drill got the Canadian destroyed onto potatoes, so him and Cameron Solis had just a proper comedy match. It was so fun.
That would have been good to see live. That would have been great to see live.
Yeah, the whole show was amazing. It's just that there's any footage of it anywhere, but yeah, it was such a fun show. Right, a tag team title match.
Made to Last versus the Merseyside Mercenary Squad.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of one of Isaac's favourites, Made to Last.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I reckon that'd be a good match. Dan and Lucas are great. Would be a sick match to see. I reckon
the storyline they had at Wrestle Island, where they had Dan Evans as the champion and Scott Abraham was the briefcase holder, but instead of cashing in, he became a gatekeeper, so you had to beat Scott to get a title match against Dan, rather than him cashing in on Dan. That was a great storyline. So,
that's pretty good, that. How would
Cameron did it. Yeah, the last show before lockdown, Cameron beat Scott.
Oh, right.
And then lockdown happened. The last show, Cameron beat show called Sham, who was their version of the Money in the Bank holder. So now, yeah.
I did see a few things from that show on Twitter and Facebook. It looked like a good show.
It's a good show. Yeah, it's really so fun. so great to be back in the island. I've missed it so much.
Yeah, I've not been down yet, so I need to get down to watch the show. I really do.
I'd really recommend it.
Yeah, because every time I see them, it always looks like it's a good match. It always looks like it's a good show. Every time I've seen them on Facebook after they're done.
I can't say there's been a bad one. There's been some really long ones, but there's never been bad ones.
Just keep going.
I think one of them, he booked about 3 tag team matches and a couple of multi-man matches, and it's going on for like 4 hours, which is alright for me, but when you've got a 3-year-old with you, it just sounds like an hour. Look
at more wrestling quick.
I've only missed one show since 2017.
That's really good. That's commitment, that is.
Because it was my mother-in-law's 60th birthday and I had to go out for a meal.
They need to get, like doing football scene, they need to get seats for you and your family just with your names engraved on them.
We do tend to sit in the same place every time we go because we get there pretty early and get in the queue.
Committed fans, you need that. Just a plaque for you and your family on each chair.
Alright, then it's your main event.
Right, I'm pretty sure, thinking about it now, I'm pretty sure James Reed said something very similar to this. But it would be a War Games match.
Yeah.
And it'd be the Cod Pals, which is Dougie Matthews, James Reed, Joey Marcus, Connor Klein, NJ Max and myself.
Yes.
Just a group of lads. We just spoke to each other so much through lockdown, obviously played Call of Duty with each other, but it's really helped getting through lockdown, having all those people, all them there, speaking to them all the time is great.
I think I've interviewed everyone in that shirt and that as well.
Yeah. And the other team would be the Dogs of War, Big Red, Alfie Brooks, Matt Fox, and Soma Durson.
Wow. A
12-man War Games match.
War Games match. That'd be amazing.
Main event. Let's book it. Let's get it booked.
Well, proper NWA rules, so the match doesn't begin till the last person's in, and they come in every 3 minutes. So.
Definitely. We need a good hour just for that. We need a good hour and a half just for that match.
So that would last. It'll be about 40 minutes before the match even begins, really.
Yeah, I'm just gonna plan that now, but I will not be starting. I'm gonna last. I'll stick at that. That's fine by me.
I think you'd have to have Alfie. No, maybe Sonic starting, I think. Maybe Alfie.
Opposing team. Yeah, I'm not starting. Let's get that clear.
That'd be a great card. I'd really like to watch that.
Yeah. I did spend, I was just thinking about it, because I knew you were going to ask when you said, and I was like, I'm not being put on the spot. I've got to think about this before.
Yes. Yeah. If you plan it, it's less editing for me, so there's less herbs and salads.
See, I've made your job easier.
Yeah. So where can people see you in the near future?
Fusion, Britannia, hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be seeing them more places than that. Try and work up, but we've got to earn everything, which is how business is and how it should be. So, if other companies feel I should be booked, then happily. I'd love to be seen in other places.
We need to see you versus Lance in a death match. And then you, as a practice for you versus Alfie in a death match.
Yeah, we'll do that then. We'll do that. Yeah.
Right, do you want to promote your social media before we go?
Oh, yes. I don't even know it, actually. Hang on. Let me have a look. So my Twitter is just Ryan Riot PW. That's my Instagram. My Instagram is Ryan Riot PW.
Mm-hmm.
And my Twitter is _Ryan_Riot. And then my Facebook is just Ryan Riot.
Cool. I'll put links in the description.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, so I really enjoyed speaking today. I'd love to have you on again in the future.
Yes, good. Thank you for having me. I've enjoyed it.